Welcome back to the Snod Pod with Jon Snodgrass, your mortgage resource, where we're talking real estate, mortgages, and beyond. I've got Doug Sprague here, Firefly real estate veteran. We just wrapped up an awesome pickleball episode, but I'd be remiss to let Doug leave before I had a couple real estate questions and then just, TOSA questions as well.
Sure.
So thanks for sticking around.
Absolutely.
So I guess real quick on real estate, do you have any advice for those that have been thinking about getting into real estate? Any advice about just taking the plunge? Or
Sure. Well, first off, John, I'm retired from real estate.
Okay.
I have been retired for a couple of years. I did real estate for close to 20 years and absolutely loved it. But it's a much more difficult occupation to get into now. Quite frankly, there are more real estate agents than are necessary to do the work. I've been saying this for years, that the number of transactions that are being done on a yearly basis in the United States could be performed by probably less than half of the amount of licensed agents.
Okay.
So advice I would have, I for a new agent or for someone who's thinking about getting into the business, I think the first thing is you need to have 6 months worth of cash reserve to pay your bills.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get into the business assuming that they're going to make money right away. That's challenging for somebody who's new. And as a 100% commission business for a licensed agent, you may go a month, you may go 2 months, you may go 5 months without collecting a check.
Yeah.
So having that reserve cash or having a supporting member of your family that can help with the bills is critical. I think a lot of agents get into it. They don't make a sale in their first 90 days. They could become discouraged and they bail.
Yeah.
You do have to have that stick-to-it, is that the word?
Stick-to-itness?
Thank you very much. You have to have that, but you also have to pay your bills.
Got to be realistic.
So be realistic about it. It's not as easy as it seems. It's not as it's portrayed on reality shows.
Yeah.
I think the reality shows over the last 10, 15 years with the $1 million listings and the different reality
Netflix
shows.
ones.
They portray real estate agents, number one, in a negative way, but they also portray it as easy money.
Yeah.
And it's not that. No. The vast majority of agents are not making a decent income at it. There are 20% that are doing 80% of the business.
Yeah.
And I would just say beware.
Yeah. No, that's good advice.
Especially in this market. This is a very, very challenging market.
Yeah.
Probably the hardest market for licensed agents in close to 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and this kind of piggybacks on my second question, and then we'll kind of go into, I thought we'd talk about TOSA for a while. But, even for me, I've been doing it 20 years. And, before I was just like, man, I've had a couple challenging weeks. And it's advice for, when you're having those challenging times, whether you're new or a veteran, any, past experiences you remember to push through, or advice there?
For a new agent, that's tough. You're working with your family members. You're working with your sphere of influence of people that you know. But understand that most people already know several other agents.
Right.
Most people know, the average American knows 2 or 3 other real estate agents, if not more than that. So trying to convince somebody to work with you as a newbie agent is a big challenge. I think focusing on working with a mentor, working with somebody who has some experience, somebody who can help maybe get you started, maybe feed you a lead once in a while.
Sure.
Holding open houses, of course, is always a generator for new agents. But learn the craft, do the best that you can with it. Be sincere, be honest, don't take shortcuts. Those are all really critical parts of becoming a new agent.
Yeah. I mean, and I think in any business too, one other thing I would just add to that is when you make a mistake, own up to it.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about it briefly. It just triggered me here when early on in the business, I had a deal with your wife. Unfortunately, she was very...
You had to deal with my wife?
Yeah, she was very gracious. But you learned from my mistake was I didn't kind of send out the letter that I kind of send out or let everybody know, hey, don't change jobs.
Right. Yeah,
so we found out at the closing table, and I had to call your wife. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And she was very nice. Right. But fortunately, there was no deals after it. But I guess that's just an example of, hey, mistakes happen. Right. Don't try to blame it on just own up to it. And I think in life that just...
You know, John, a phrase that I like to use when I was selling real estate was, I know what I know and I know what I don't know.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good phrase.
And always refer to an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Don't walk into a house, look at the basement, and start spewing your ideas as to what's wrong with the basement.
Yeah.
Let the basement specialists do that for your client.
Yeah.
You can say, I've experienced this. I've seen this before in other houses, but we're better off having a basement specialist look at it before we make a determination as to what the fix is.
Yeah.
You're not the basement specialist expert. The basement specialist is. So know what you know what you don't know. Don't be afraid to seek advice from somebody who knows what's going on. Always, again, refer to the expert.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I do it in my job sometimes on a unique product. Like I haven't done this like DSCR loan in a long time. So I'm like, hey, let me get back to you on this for an investment property. I'm like, let me talk to one of my buddies that I work with who works more with, and I'll get back to you. Instead of me trying to I don't know. I think it's okay to say, I don't know. I'll get back to you.
No one likes a bullshitter.
Yeah.
And most people can see through the bullshit. So be honest, be straightforward, be sincere. And the other thing is follow up. Once you have that first transaction closed, stay in contact with that. If I have one big regret from my years in real estate is that I didn't work hard enough on staying in contact with the hundreds of my past clients.
Yeah.
Your past clients are your best source of future business. And if you allow those past clients to think you don't care about them anymore, and sometimes it's just a simple text.
Yeah.
I used to tell the agents at Firefly, you drive by their house and you see they've got their Christmas decorations up. It takes you 30 seconds to pull over and say, hey, John and Susie, I just drove by Jackson Park Boulevard and I saw your house. What a great job you did with the decorations. Hope everything's great. Have a great holiday.
Right.
It didn't cost you anything, but you made a contact with that client, and they might be thinking about you. And maybe the next time their cousin at the holiday party is talking about selling their house, or say, hey, you know what? I got a great agent for you. Call Joe Schmo at ABC Realty.
No, that's a great tip. And not to mention, it's like you get, and I think I get into it more in secondary, but like there's like an emotional, it's like, real estate is such an emotional transaction. And at times you kind of become, I imagine, like a psychologist too,
Yeah, kind of like the listening ear.
Yeah. You definitely has learned.
There's some marital counseling that happens occasionally, right?
For sure.
Where you're dealing with disagreements and stuff. But the other thing with real estate is, which is kind of funny, is you sometimes have to deal with the parents.
Yes.
Mom and dad are looking out for their kids, and they want to make sure that they're not making a bad investment. And they're telling you that they bought their first house for $57,000.
Right.
And, that there's cracks in the ceiling.
Right.
And, it becomes, now as an agent, not only are you managing the expectations of your buyers, but the buyer's parents, and in some cases, two sets of buyers' parents.
Yeah.
So now you've got your buyers, their parents, the husband's parents, and now the wife's parents are all coming to these showings together, and they're finding all the things wrong with the house. It can be challenging.
Right. I was gonna say, like, I've heard some stories where, they come with you to the home inspection.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Jenna was telling me about it, where like it's like, oh wait. Oh my, and they're Johnny Fix-It, and they
we
know
call
everything.
Those flashlight Freds.
Flashlight Freds.
Because they've got their pocket flashlight, and they're going to look under the sink, and they're going to look for water stains. And there's also Marble Mike, who brings the marble to show you
make sure that
the floors are level.
Which is going to be tough in a Tosa home that's 100 years old.
Any house.
Yeah.
And again, it's your job as the agent to massage that relationship and to try to make it. Your goal is to get those people to like you and to trust you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be sarcastic, or if you're going to be nasty with them, or if you're going to be standoffish to the parents, I guarantee you're going to lose that transaction.
Right.
So my goal was always, I'm going to make sure these parents recognize that I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And they're going to recognize that I'm an expert or that I'm competent at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's part of the process too.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, maybe we'll just transition. I just thought I'd talk a little bit of Tosa because when we had our meeting, we talked about how you had moved here late 70s, early 80s. Just curious, I grew up in Tosa. I love it. If it were up to me, we'd be living there, but we're close, Brookfield.
Sure.
But tell me a little bit about what was Tosa like when you first got here? Because now it feels like to me almost like a borough. Of an extension of the city, and I've so many people that have moved here, just love it.
I think Wauwatosa has got so many great qualities. It's got a small town community feel, but it has bigger city amenities that make it desirable. I think that when I first moved to Wauwatosa in 1978, there was very little happening in the village of Wauwatosa. There was a restaurant called Peter Piper Pancake House, which is right where Bartolotta's is now.
Sure.
There were very few businesses in the village. There were many people were discouraged by there were people talking about how there were actually homeless people hanging around the village quite a bit. Yeah,
okay.
This back in the late 70s. But it really went through a resurgence, and part of that resurgence started with the Chancery in the village of Wauwatosa on State Street. I was employed at the Chancery, and that's what brought me to Wauwatosa.
Okay.
And I saw just the village really explode from that point on, and all the great things that have happened. Wauwatosa, the proximity to downtown Milwaukee is awesome. The proximity to State Fair Park, to I was going to say County Stadium. That shows you how
right.
And I was going to say Miller Park, American Family Field.
Right.
The proximity to so many great things, and the fact that within minutes you can be virtually anywhere where there's something to do is fantastic. Just a great community and a lot of positives.
Well, and then you got kind of like the East Tosa too, which is almost like another little city within the city.
That's another great example, John. The East Tosa, there were so many empty storefronts on North Avenue there. Not a lot going on. Cranky Al's came to North Avenue, and that started kind of a resurgence there.
Sure.
And other businesses and restaurants started opening up, and over the last 20 years, it's phenomenal. The property values in East Tosa have just skyrocketed. When I first started selling real estate, it was very common for a bungalow to sell, a 3-bedroom bath and a half bungalow to sell for $175 to $200. It's not uncommon to see them now in the fours.
Yeah.
So, and it's just amazing. And walkable schools, I think, is a big part of it too. I think the school system has come under a little bit of fire over the last 10 years, but still a very strong school system. And the fact that, again, walkable schools is a huge plus.
Yeah, and my son's gotten into golf. I was never a golfer, but so many good golf courses.
Sure.
Hanson, Curry.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great space or great spot. I love growing up there, and even on North Avenue where I grew up on Pasadena. Even that has kind of become like a little, there's a couple more restaurants there and coffee shops.
Yeah, Midtown Tosa over the last 5 or 6
the
years.
ice cream shop, I forget the name of it.
Gosh,
that place is great.
Liz Joy has just done just an incredible job in drawing people to that area there. It's just fabulous to see all that growth.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll wrap this one up. I had a couple just Tosa questions for you. So let's maybe start with, what about a favorite fish fry in Tosa? Where are you going? Are you a fish fry guy or no?
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't have a favorite fish fry in Wauwatosa.
Okay, outside of Tosa.
I'm a lake perch guy,
okay.
and I just have not found, if someone's got a suggestion, shoot me a DM at Tosa
okay.
Pickleball, but
okay.
I for fish fry, I'm not sold on it.
Okay.
Anywhere in Tosa. I like Higgles Inn for fish fry in West Dallas.
Okay.
So I'm not much help.
All right, I didn't start off with a good question there, but let's go pizza in Tulsa.
I'm a Balestreri's guy.
Balestreri's.
Yeah, it's relatively close to my house. It's very consistent, always busy. I think it's reasonably priced.
Yeah,
it's good pizza for me. I like it.
What about number 2 pizza? Do you have a number 2?
I like Lolly's.
Yeah,
that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Those would be my 2.
I'm gonna say for me, Balestreri's, but this isn't Tosa. But I grew up like on the Milwaukee border off of Center, where Marco's is still there?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I know they've got a great rep. I've had it once or twice.
Okay.
Last time I had it, I wasn't that impressed.
Okay. That was one. Another thing was they always had free onions, no matter what.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Last one. This might just be all of Milwaukee because best corned beef or pastrami sandwich.
Well,
this is a tough one.
My wife and I just had some Reubens about 2 weeks ago from Benji's in Shorewood.
Yeah.
There was talk of them opening in Wauwatosa, and they fell apart. But that's a great corned beef. I used to make my own corned beef. I used to buy at Grosh's in Brookfield. Would sell a marinated brisket.
Yeah.
And I would put it in a crock pot, and it was just outstanding. They went out of business, and nobody else has that anymore.
Yeah.
You can buy the Cryovac corned beef at the grocery store. It's not the same.
Yeah. The others that I like too, I love Benji's and Shore because I used to live down the east side for a long time. Jake's, I love Jake's pastrami. Their pastrami might be the best. And the McBob's. McBob's is another one.
I've got to check out McBob's. I've never had their Reubens or their corned beef, but I know they've got a great rep for it. Jake's also very good, but geez, it's getting expensive now. You're talking $20 for a sandwich.
Might be more. Yeah.
$21 for it's a little tough.
All right. Well, hey, this has been a lot of fun. Doug, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it talking a little real estate, little Tosa. So
absolutely, John. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Right.
This has been the Snod Pod with Jon Snodgrass, your mortgage resource, where we're talking real estate, mortgages, corned beef, pizza, and beyond. Thanks for joining us.